GMGP. It is Thursday, January 29th, 2026. Y'all decided to wake y'all asses up with myself and my brother from another mother. Y'all know who it is. Jordan Richards. You can find him at your boy Jay Rich up there in Canada. We had a little difficulty this morning, but we're here. We're here in the building. We got the people in the building. We got the squad, the family, the wake-up crew in the house. I see Chi-Town checking in early. What's going down with you, baby? GMGP from Chicago. My wife was just out in Chicago a couple of weeks ago, Jay Rich. She said said that's a city I need to get to. I've been to a lot of places. I have not been to Chicago. What's going on, baby? That coffee hitting somebody early this morning. I can't have a coffee before the show. I'd have to take a bathroom break. What's going on, Mick Vasquez? What's going down with you? Not a morning person, so I appreciate the late starts. Every now and then some things happen, but we're not going to leave y'all hanging. I promise you that. Same cold world, talking about the Bills and Joe Brady. We got to talk about Bill Belichick, your boy, Jay Rich, not a first ballot Hall of Famer. What are we doing? What the hell are we doing? We appreciate you being in the building. For those of y'all who are tapping in for the first time, whether live or on replay, we have a good time every time. Hit the thumbs up button, like the stream, subscribe to the channel, comment on the video. Jay Rich, a little late start, but how you doing today, baby?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I am excited. And I don't know if people even noticed, but you got your LVs on from the other day. We're talking about how you're trying to order those LV glasses.
These came from the dollar store.
They're looking good, right? Looking good.
These are dollar store. These came from the dollar store. These are not. These came from the dollar store.
But you know me, Ray. You know I am so excited because J. Cole is back. I know it's not what people want to hear.
Hell yeah, we want to hear some Cold World, baby.
People thought he fell off, and J. Cole is back. Oh my God, his mixtape was so good. I sent it to you because I thought it was so good, and you even thought it was good. And I was like, hopefully Ray likes it because, you know, Ray's music taste.
I like J. Cole, man. I rock with just no,
you know,
don't do that.
You know, I know you're still bumping Luther. I know you still think it's a good song. Kendrick Lamar has arguably the worst singles in history. Like when you just look across his albums, I still remember when Pimp Butterfly came out. Why is All Right a single? That song is terrible. It just make King Kunta the single. If it doesn't sell, nobody cares. It's the best song on the album. Right? Then you got Luther is a single, well, because Scissors in it. Gotta sell tickets. I get it. But like, come on, man. Come on. But Cole is back, baby. I am very excited. Very excited.
Good mixtape. J. Cole is dope. There's no need for Kendrick Lamar slander here, as you are the Drake lover of the crew. There is no need for any of that. Any of that. We got a lot to talk about today, Jay. Man, the coaching cycle, we will touch on that. Senior Bowl hype is going down. We've got one more week until the Super Bowl. We've got the Pro Bowl games coming up. We've got new head coaches in new places. Here we are, man. I mean, the NFL season is over now. I mean, it is over now.
I mean,
we're damn near in February. It's been a long ride, man, but we still have stuff to talk about. As far as content, make sure you check out on the channel the Daniel Jeremiah mock draft review is live. Make sure you check out Daniel Jeremiah's round one mock. I went through each one of the picks, Jay, talked about the selections. It was very different, and I did not think it was nearly as bad as people were saying it was. It was quite a bit different than some of the things that we're used to seeing, but I really did. I appreciated the mock and some of the different names in different places in the mock. Later today, Jay Rich, we've got a treat for you guys. Jay Rich was back in his bag.
We got to swap that too.
Oh, we got to swap it. You like the other one better?
Okay, well, hold on. We'll use the other one. People will see it. People will see it.
You like the other one better?
I think I like the other one better.
Let me throw the other one up for Jay.
I will let the people vote, but I think the other one is better. I think this one is better personally.
It's a little clearer picture of Lemon. It's a little clearer picture of Lemon. Neither here nor there. This is what Jay Rich does best. I will give my dog his credit. This man is a master editor, and he's got your boy looking real good in these videos. So immediately after the show, Makai Lemon prospect profile will be up on the channel. Check that out. We're already working on Carnell Tate next. We're just going to keep the train rolling over here. So these are really fun, really engaging. A lot of people loved these last year. Jay Rich in his bag with this one. Makai Lemon. Ended
up good. Makai Lemon
did a good job.
Good prospect. Although a little underwhelmed personally. So we'll see. We'll see. You haven't told me if he's your 2 or 3 yet.
we're not. Thank you. DP told you to get up out of here with that
Look,
Kendrick Lamar talk.
Y'all can have your opinions, and that's fine. That is fine. I like Kendrick. I was the one that told you I thought his album was really good. But yeah, DP's entitled to his opinion. It's okay. It's okay.
All right. Well, let's talk about your squad first, Jay Rich. Okay. Let's talk about your squad first. And when I first heard it, I was like, okay, no big deal, right? This happens often. It seemed a little odd to me, but the NFL had to put out a statement about this, Jay. So clearly, it is a much bigger deal than I gave it credit for at the beginning of the process here. But your boy Bill Belichick was not a first ballot Hall of Famer. He fell short of the 40 out of 50 votes needed for introduction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. Tom Brady spoke out about this and was like, what are we doing? If Bill Belichick isn't a first ballot Hall of Fame coach, no coach should ever be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And he said that's also not fair and not true. So again, what the hell are we doing? They asked Bill Polian's old ass, hey, were you one of the culprits, Bill? This dude said he couldn't remember. Jay Rich, he just voted and he said he couldn't remember who he voted for or if he did or did not vote for him as a first ballot Hall of Famer. Thoughts on this one, man? This seems this doesn't seem right, Jay. This one doesn't seem right. Bill Belichick, say what you want about Brady and the end and Gronkowski and the Patriot way and the way they suck the fun out of football. What are we doing here? How is Bill Belichick not a first ballot Hall of Famer?
I don't know. If there's pretty much anyone who should be a first ballot Hall of Famer as a coach, Bill Belichick would be number one on that list. Now, for people who are unfamiliar, you can only vote in 3 people. And there was some lobbying going on with Robert Kraft getting in and him getting in while Bill Belichick doesn't get in and other players trying to get in, etc. But he should be number one on your list. I think the outrage is a little bit overdone, personally. Like, it's a big deal if you care about it, for sure. And Bill Belichick is a big historian, loves the Hall of Fame, big advocate for people to go to Hall of Fame. But as someone who follows baseball, like, this happens really often in baseball. Barry Bonds is still not in the Baseball Hall of Fame because people think that he cheated. So it's like, it is what it is. We know that these writers have the power to not let in just about anyone, right? There's been plenty of guys who should have been unanimous Hall of Famers and weren't as a result because someone has a grudge, doesn't want them to be. But not letting in Belichick is kind of crazy. And I don't know if you saw... Mahomes, Jay... Look at the retweets. Even LeBron tweeted about it, which is pretty funny too.
LeBron's out there getting me 9 points a night from my Lakers, and he's got to tweet about this, Jay Rich. He's out there giving me 9 points every single night, and LeBron's tweeting about Bill Belichick not being in the Hall. Come on, man. Come on,
It is pretty crazy, but it is what it is. He'll get in eventually. I'm not up in arms about it. Like, would have been cool to see, but it kind of just is what it is. And these things happen across sports all the time. Like I said, I'm very familiar with happening in baseball, so I'm pretty used to it. But for people who, are just more on the football side, maybe it's not quite for you. But I think the other side, Ray, I don't know if you saw this, but now as a result, Mike Shanahan isn't going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer either. Because next year, Bill Belichick's going to be the only coach voted into the Hall of Fame, and then Mike Shanahan won't be eligible to be a first ballot Hall of Famer as well, which is kind of crazy.
I looked at a list at some of these writers of these people who are voted. I'm like, who the hell are these people? Like, who is this guy, and how is he voting on who should be in the Hall of Fame and who shouldn't? Just wild stuff to me. But you say it's not that big of a deal, but again, probably like 6 hours after that news broke, the NFLPA put out a statement saying that, hey, we can actually remove some people. And they called it, what they say, non-compliance with the voting rules. Come on, man. Like, that's crazy. Just, what I'm saying? That's just ridiculous. Let's go to some coaching news, Jay. Some coaching news. Let's get to some coaching news that happened. The Jacksonville guys are back. Both Grant Gudisky and Anthony Campanelli will remain with Jacksonville for the 2026 season. There was a lot of money, Jay Rich, that old betting market. If you put some money on that Udinski to be the next head coach of the Browns, you lost. Yeah, that's why old GQ is probably going to stop that gambling, Jay Rich. I'm just gonna leave it alone. I listened to you. I put a ridiculous amount of money on Drake May to win MVP. That ticket is
He
burned.
still should be the MVP. He's not going to win the MVP.
He
but
should not be.
He should be.
He
the
absolutely
MVP.
should not be. And
Well,
you
Ray,
should
who's
you
still
should
playing?
reimburse me for
Who's
the
still
funds that I've lost from that bet. But neither here nor there. Grant Yudinsky, Anthony Campanelli, they're back in Jacksonville, which means somebody's got to fill the role, Jay Rich. Somebody's got to be the head coach of the Browns. Somebody's got to take that Arizona job. I believe the Raiders and the Cardinals are the only two teams right now currently without NFL head coaches. That is because the Browns did make a move. Jay Rich, the Browns said, hey.
Oh, yeah.
You know, after whoever's out there, we got our guy, baby. We found our leader of this franchise for the foreseeable future. And who was it, Jordan Richards?
It was none other than former Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken, Ray. We have another almost going to be 60-year-old head coach in the NFL. He'll be 60 in a few days. I think it's February 5th is his birthday. He'll be the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns. But, Ray, I don't know if you saw Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year, NFL sack leader.
Hey.
He's posting Popeyes memes on IG. You know the one. Sitting on the bench, head down. Remember that one? He ain't happy.
This story is
wild. And the reason why is because his DC, currently under contract, Jim Schwartz, is also not happy. He wanted the head coaching gig in Cleveland, and he straight up said,
that's an understatement.
I do not want to coach here if I'm not the head coach. And so now you have a Cleveland team that lost Kevin Stefanski, right? A coach that we all think is a good coach, but was dealt a bad hand in Cleveland. They have a great defense and had a great defense last season under Jim Schwartz, and now it seems like Jim Schwartz is not going to be in the picture in 2026. And the other thing I heard, Ray, and I don't know if this is true, I heard that part of the reason why candidates were pulling out of the Cleveland job was because the Cleveland Browns organization said, we want you to retain Jim Schwartz as DC going into the following season.
That is correct.
So they're telling candidates that you got to keep Jim Schwartz, and when they don't pick him to be head coach, he says, deuces, I'm out of here. I'm going to go coach somewhere else, which is absolutely insane and the most Browns thing I've ever heard.
Did you hear about what Schwartz did, though, Jay Rich? You didn't hear about? So
No.
apparently, I'm reading this after the Browns. Here, let me put it up on the screen, Jay. It's not calibrated for the screen, but let me. I can't scroll it down.
Look at
So
Jim
it's
Schwartz.
like-
I
he's in
actually
good
met
shape.
Jim
He's in-
Schwartz when he was the head coach of the Detroit Lions.
Let me read this from Tom Pelissaro. Jay Rich, after the Browns informed DC Jim Schwartz this morning that they were passing over him to hire Todd Monken as head coach, Schwartz was visibly upset, said his goodbyes in the building, and told the other coaches he ain't coming back. Dog!
He's out. Had enough.
Respect him. Have you ever seen the movie? What's the movie? Dave Chappelle, Back in the Gap. What is the movie with Chappelle?
Dave Chappelle movie.
Golly, what's the movie? Because the dude he tells his boss, F you, you're cool, F you, I'm out of here. That's what Jim Schwartz just did. He walked out of the job. He was like, F you, Myles Garrett, you're cool. Denzel Ward, I rock with you. Jimmy Haslam, Todd Monken, eat this middle finger. I'm out of here, Jay Rich. Jim Schwartz gone. He said, I don't want to be here. You passed me over. You got me excited, Jay Rich. You got me all hot and bothered. And then you told me, no, we can't do anything tonight. Like, what are we doing?
We'll take another old white guy instead.
It is betrayal at one of the highest degrees of betrayal that you can have. Half-Baked is the movie, Jay. I'm in the club. I've bought you 5 drinks. We've grinded and we've danced all night long, right? I bring you back to the crib and it's time to get busy. And you tell me you're tired. You tell me you don't want to do nothing. You got me ready for hours, right? for hours, Jay Rich. It's time to go to Pound Town. And then you're talking about we can't do nothing tonight. I can't do this tonight. Get the hell out. I'm out. You got to go. I'm calling the Uber. You got to go, Jay. I'm not even taking you to the. That's what Jim Schwartz just did. I don't blame him. I've been there. I feel the pain. I don't blame Schwartz for walking out like that, Jay Rich. Talk about the hire of Todd Monken. Do you think it was a good hire? I don't know, man. This is another. You look at the head coaches that got jobs this cycle. Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
Todd Monken. Yeah. Right? John Harbaugh's back in the building. That's fine. Whatever. Yeah, I got John Harbaugh. We have Halfley, Mentor. Okay, we could rock with those.
Some young DCs.
Got a couple of young DCs, but who's taking the Raiders job? Who the hell is taking the Cardinals job? Like what? Klint Kubiak's going to Arizona? Not a chance.
No.
Ain't a chance Klint Kubiak's going to Arizona. No chance.
But Vegas? So Vegas and the Cardinals are both going to interview Klint Kubiak another time. It's projected to be this weekend. Peter Schrager tweeted that out just, I think, yesterday or the day before. So Klint Kubiak, it does seem if he was going to pick a job, he would pick the Raiders job. They have the number 1 pick. Fernando Mendoza, right? Lots of cap space to kind of work there. We know they have Genti, they have Bowers, etc. They could put together a great offense there. Arizona, though, I mean, we talked about it, throughout the past few weeks. We've thought it was one of the worst jobs in the NFL. The Cleveland job is what it is. Todd Monken, uninspiring hire, old guy. Is he a great offensive mind? Hard to say. He was the OC in Cleveland, I believe, back in 2019. But again, he went to Georgia where, things worked out there. In Baltimore, he struggled his first year. But you got Lamar Jackson. And I think the crazy thing about Monken is how many times have we questioned his play calling and literally as the reason why they lose games? Sure, their defense is bad, but how many times have we said, why isn't he giving the ball to Derrick Henry? Right? And so it's I don't necessarily believe he's the best OC right now. And so we'll see what he does with the offense. But we kind of know what's going to happen here. He's going to be the coach for a few years. Maybe things work out, but he's going to get fired and they'll hire somebody else. Because Cleveland is not a place that is going to develop a coach and Monken's going to be the one to lead this team going forward. They have a lot of work to do in Cleveland. He's a okay hire. Again, a bit of a surprising hire in my opinion, but do not expect Todd Monken to take this team anywhere from 4th in the AFC North.
I hear Dio in the chat. He said if Monken was 34, people would love him. Everybody loves offensive guys when they're young. Just last season, we love what Monken was doing for Lamar. Do you agree with that?
I don't know. But I've never thought Monken was a very good OC, right? Last year, things kind of worked out in the Ravens' favor, and they were a very good team, and the defense came together late in the season. But, not a whole lot was different this year. Even when Lamar was healthy, the offense still struggled. Now, once he came back, we know he was a little bit hobbled. And I think the other side of it is one sign of really good coaching is what do you do when your back's against the wall, right? What does Kyle Shanahan do when his starting quarterback goes out? Well, he still wins football games, right? And that's why he's a phenomenal coach and why he's going to be a head coach for the foreseeable future. When you see Mike McDaniel struggle with backup quarterbacks, when you see a coach like Todd Monken struggle with a backup quarterback, it's clearly their system is that dependent on the quarterback to where it's okay, cool. If you don't have that quarterback, which he doesn't in Cleveland, what's going to happen? It's probably going to be terrible once again, right? And Kevin Stefanski will probably do great things with the offense in Atlanta and all the pieces he has. And if he does, you're going to say, well, they probably shouldn't have fired Kevin Stefanski and hired Todd Monken. Because I think even if we're just basing those two coaches alone, a lot of people would probably rather have Kevin Stefanski as the head coach than Todd Monken. So it just seems like a downgrade based off of what you had, and we know the supporting cast probably won't be much better in Cleveland, depending on what they do in the draft, of course.
I don't know, man. It just, I think at some point we just want to see some new names in the cycle, but I get it, right? Let's go for somebody who's been able to demonstrate some proficiency offensively. Say what you want. Yeah. You could say it was more Lamar than Monken. I just think that not every coordinator is built for head coach. There's just a difference, right? There's a difference between being a coordinator and working your position group and then galvanizing a full room of men We'll see how it works. I'll just say it was uninspiring. Like, you can't tell me that, oh, hell yeah, we got a home run when people were talking about Udinski and trying to get different Mike McDaniel and Shieldhouse. Like, you can't tell me that you wake up and you hear, you know what it feels like? Feels kind of like when Dallas hired Brian Schottenheimer. And I know he's younger, but you're just like, fine. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, we'll see how it plays out.
But I think that at least was an internal promotion, right? This is a guy who got fired because the head coach got fired.
He had been in Cleveland before, though. Monken had been in Cleveland before. So, it's a familiar...
Yeah,
I'm going
but I think that's
what's
what it is, right?
Man.
It's Haslam saying this is a guy who's been in the building, he understands Cleveland, he's been our OC before, but it's not like he took this team to crazy high highs either.
Let's talk about another coaching move, and this one, Jay, I'm curious as to your thoughts. I'm curious as to your thoughts because this player, young player, I would say more down his rookie year than up, but there were definitely some flashes, some positive stuff. What are your thoughts on Brian Daboll being introduced as the new offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans? This broke after our show on Tuesday, but Brian Daboll is being hired as the offensive coordinator in Tennessee. So you got Robert Saleh and Brian Daboll. You're talking about from this coaching cycle, you couldn't stand that Brian Callahan. Have they not assembled so far the best?
Don't say it. Don't say it, Ray. Don't go there because I put this in the show notes.
Go ahead.
Do not say super of any kind. Don't say it.
Okay.
We did this before. You can't say it. It didn't go well last time. But you know what they say, Ray? If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. But if you can't make it to New York, maybe you can team up in Tennessee and do some good things in Nashville. No one says this.
Who says this? Keep going.
But Brian Daboll, if he doesn't get the Raiders job, which he is still in line to get the Raiders job potentially, doesn't seem like he's going to get it.
He's the OC, right? What are we talking about the Raiders for?
He is going to be the OC if he doesn't get the Raiders job. That is so. If he doesn't get the Raiders job, he will be the Titans
contingency hire. I need some of these when I go interview. Hey man, if I don't get this job, I got this shit lined up over here.
You know how whether it's college, NFL, these coaches got all the outs in all of these deals, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's going to probably be Tennessee's OC. The one thing I will say is that when it comes to Cam Ward, the one thing we talked about is you need a coach who is going to coach him very hard that can work out his mistakes. This is the coach that you need with Cam Ward. The biggest thing with Josh Allen was the turnovers, the mistakes, the boneheaded plays. And Brian Daboll, for a lot of what we've heard, he's the guy that really got Josh Allen to rein things in, take what's there, and is a much more efficient quarterback as a result. If he can do the same thing with Cam Ward, then it's a home run hire. But if he does that, where is he coaching next season? Where is he coaching in 2 years, right? Because he's going to get hired as a head coach somewhere else. Well, maybe. So I think that's the interesting thing about this, right, is that we all love it for Cam Ward because a lot of us love Cam Ward's talent. We've been very critical of Cam Ward at times, but we know the talent's there. He just needs the right coach to kind of put it all together. I think the combination of Saleh and Daboll is a very good two-man tandem. Saleh will run the defense. Daboll can run the offense. And if he can do similar things that he did with Josh Allen and kind of work some of the boneheaded plays, the, risky throws out of Cam Ward, that's the type of coaching that we know that Cam Ward has needed from the moment he left Miami. And that was one of the reasons why I didn't like Brian Callahan. I didn't think he'd be a strong enough figure to work with Ward and convince him to play a different style of football in the NFL that he played in college. And I think Brian Daboll is going to be able to do that. What are your thoughts on Daboll, and especially kind of Tennessee's offensive outlook now that we expect Daboll to be the OC in Tennessee?
I like it. We'll see how it works out. It played well in Buffalo during his short time there with Josh Allen. It worked out well in Buffalo. You think about when Daboll was the offensive coordinator at Alabama, he had that offense humming. With the Giants, when he finally got a quarterback, I know they couldn't win anything because the Giants were bad, but the quarterback played well. This is about the development of Cam Ward. And what I like about what Tennessee has done is Saleh can put his expertise to work on the defensive side of the ball and really focus over there. And then I'm telling you guys, when you have, I remember playing, whenever I played, the head coach of our team, he didn't ever come over there to the defensive backs. Like he wasn't over there. I mean, he'd come over and see what you were doing, but he was always just he was the offensive guy, right? So he'd come to the defense and he's just the rah-rah guy. It was the DC that we were always around. So you allow Brian Daboll to really mold Cam Ward. I bet you Salah's like, hey, you handle that, and he's going to be the rah-rah motivator. What up, Cam? Let's go get it, baby. Good. Go to work, Cam. Let's go. He can be that for the offensive side of the ball while saying, you know what, you got it. I've got somebody in the building that I trust to run an offense, to put a good offensive game plan together. Sure, he will touch the offense as well because he's the head coach, but that's not his primary focus. I think it's the best head coach DC hire of the cycle. Like those two, that pairing
like it, yeah.
with them, what a name a 1-2 combo. The Ravens don't have an offensive coordinator right now, to my understanding. The Dolphins do not have an offensive coordinator with Jeff Hafley, do they? Do the Dolphins have an OC?
I don't believe so yet.
They don't have an OC. You've got both vacancies in Carolina and Arizona and Las Vegas. I think this is the best head coach coordinator pairing of the cycle, no doubt about it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely up there. It's two coaches that we really like. You know, we both love Robert Saleh. Think that he got a really raw deal in New York, did a great job with the defense, did a great job at San Francisco, both before and after the Jets head coaching stint. And you know, both of us have been big fans of Daboll. You know, I think there is a bit of I think we like him a little bit too much because the results on the field as a head coach are a little bit mixed. But I do think that his time as OC and just his ability to coach offense without having to worry about everything else, the game management and the defensive side and the on-the-field stuff, it'll just allow him to be a little bit more of who he is, which is an offensive guy, and I think Saleh can kind of take care of the rest and just make his job a lot easier. So we hopefully see the best version of Daboll, and he can get the best out of Cam Ward as well.
We didn't touch on Buffalo's new head coach, did we? We
Not
didn't
yet.
We didn't get that. All the news broke after the show. All the news broke after the show. Well, let's talk about what Buffalo did in the realm of Brian Daboll and what he did with the Bills. Again, another uninspiring hire, in my opinion, Jay Rich. They just promoted Joe Brady. They fire Sean McDermott because he can't win and he can't get it done, and the expectation is the Super Bowl. Okay, great, got it, good. And then you promote Joe Brady. You elevate Brandon Beane to a higher position. You promote the offensive coordinator in Joe Brady, and then this is going to change things in Buffalo? Like, again, what are we doing? Joe Brady?
Look, Ray, you know I agree with you here. I'm not the biggest fan of Joe Brady, but I do want to give Buffalo a little bit of credit.
Look at this. It said Joe Brady, now that no one can tell him no, just wide receiver screens galore incoming for the Bills.
But I do want to say something, and where I will give Buffalo a very, very little bit of credit, is we talk a lot about who should you hire as your head coach, right? Throughout this whole cycle, 10 head coaching vacancies in the NFL, who is the right guy to hire? And the biggest mistake so many teams make is they hire a defensive guy and they hire an OC who's going to get a head coaching job somewhere else. Joe Brady was interviewing for head coaching jobs all over the NFL. And while I don't think Joe Brady is going to make a very good head coach, one of the things that at least I noticed, I don't know how true it is, so I'm not trying to spread fake news, but it's just something I noticed. Joe Brady calls the offense from the booth. He calls the offense from upstairs. One of his adjustments was he's going to be on the field running the show with all those distractions around him, not having that above field view and that just one-on-one quarterback OC communication where it's in obviously a warm spot. So all those things are going to be adjustments for him. But where I'll give Buffalo credit is if Joe Brady is the guy, at least you kept him in the building. You didn't let him go be a successful head coach somewhere else. Yes, it's not necessarily what we think is the right move for Buffalo because, well, now what's going to happen with their defense? It's probably going to be terrible unless they can hire the right guy. Maybe they can bring in Jim Schwartz, at which point we'd feel pretty comfortable with what the team is going to be. But especially offensively, this team wasn't the greatest. It was very uninspiring with Joe Brady at the helm. He's obviously going to be the head coach now. and operate the offense. We'll see what they do on defense. But if it does work, at least you kept this guy in the building rather than letting him go be a great head coach somewhere else. So I do want to give Buffalo a little bit of credit there because that is important. When we talk about all these hotshot OCs, they end up on other teams because you have a defensive head coach. Right? Buffalo didn't make that mistake, so if it works out, it's a great hire. But I personally don't think that Joe Brady is going to make a very good head coach.
All right, and there was a correction. The Dolphins do have an OC. They did hire former Texans.
Bobby Slowick, right?
Bobby Slowick. They did hire Bobby Slowick in Miami. So there you go. There's a correction to the show. Bobby Slowick is the offensive coordinator in Miami. Man, I'm looking at Adam Schefter's tweet because we have not talked about what the Jets did yesterday, but they fired, a couple of days ago, everybody? Jay, is that what happened? The Jets, I know they parted ways.
Well, not the Jets, right? Because one guy is still in charge, right? Okay. Your boy, Aaron Glenn, still in charge of the New York Jets, but he has fired his entire coaching staff. Offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams,
passing games coordinator,
lower level coaches, they're all gone.
Passing game coordinator, everybody.
Enough is enough.
Everybody
Aaron
gone.
Glenn, not the problem. No, sir. It's everyone else. It's the OC. It's the DC. It's the special teams coordinator. That's why the Jets were so bad, right? It wasn't Aaron Glenn. No, Aaron Glenn, great guy. Great guy. Does a great job. Great with the media.
Wild.
But the Jets retaining their god-awful head coach going into next season. And the guy who hired all of these people in the offseason, but now he's looking for new, fresh faces. He needs new voices in the building to lead his New York Jets.
New voices.
So he can lead the New York Jets to the promised land.
And voices put in my head. They talk to me, baby.
John Gruden turned down the OC job, which makes sense. He wants to be a head coach.
So you've got the Jets without an offensive coordinator. The Eagles still don't have somebody running their offense. This is.
Did you see that the Eagles interviewed the Packers quarterback coach? Don't know who he is. Never heard of him.
Kurt Benkert.
But that is
they interviewed that Kurt Benkert.
If Kurt Benkert was the OC anywhere, I would be very interested in that. Kurt Benkert is a funny guy, man. I like Kurt Benkert a lot. But yeah, QB coach of the Packers, apparently.
The NFL is the gift that continues to give and give and give. And Aaron Glenn, what are the Jets going to do? They don't have a quarterback, Jay. They're picking number 2 overall. Every mock draft,
they ain't getting one.
They're taking a safety. They're taking a linebacker that they think can get. Where are the Jets even going? You brought Tanner over from Detroit with you. 1 year later, you have to clean. This is gonna be a disaster. It's gonna be an utter disaster in 2026 for New York. A disaster
is
incoming.
If you are hired, right, to be a OC, DC, maybe special teams coordinator, there's a pretty good shot. You got a 1 in 3 chance to be interim head coach in week 8 for the New York Jets to put your stamp on this team because Aaron Glenn probably
somebody said
not
Greg
gonna be
Roman.
There too long.
Yikes.
Yeah, they hired. They interviewed Greg Roman and Frank Wright.
I just saw
the
that.
Super coaching staff.
Let me go give you all the names. Let me give you all the names. I saw the list of names that they interviewed, and it was just a who's list of really Darrell Bevell, Ronald Curry, Frank Wright, Greg Roman, and Lunda Wells. I don't know who Lunda Wells is, but she's probably been in the league for a while.
I was going to say, yeah.
I don't know who these people are outside of Roman and Wright. I know who. Do you know who Ronald Curry is? Do you have?
I honestly don't know.
He played.
Not familiar with Ronald
Curry. And then Darrell Bevell. I know you remember the name Darrell Bevell. So those were the offensive coordinator searching candidate interviews that the Jets, they took. I'm still thinking, who's playing quarterback for New York next year? Who?
We're gonna find. Well, Justin Fields, Ray. They're paying him like $20 million right now going into next season. They may just gonna run it back with Justin Fields, right? Maybe they can get a Ty Simpson, middle of the first round. He can be the backup for a few weeks. And
unreal.
Reality is no one cares about the Jets. They're going to be terrible next year. Whoever their coach is, who cares? It doesn't really matter. We'll see.
Are there any other major coaching things we need to talk about before we hit a break, because I do want to talk about Shedeur for a minute. Want to talk about him and his new head coach and his perspectives as potentially being the next quarterback of the Browns, how that's all going to play out. We'll touch on a little bit of buzz and news from the Senior Bowl, but are there any other big head coaching nuggets, news points that we've missed out on, Jay?
No, the only one really is what's going to happen with Klint Kubiak, right? So he's going to, like I mentioned earlier, if anyone missed it, where he's going to interview for both the Raiders and the Arizona job. He would definitely be the front runner for the Raiders job over the Arizona job, and then we'll see what happens with Arizona. I honestly still to this day do not know who the front runner is for the Arizona job. So we'll just kind of find out one day. It'll be Vance, Joseph, or whoever takes the job. Yeah. But there is literally no front runner for that job. And the Raiders seem like they're down to a few different candidates, but it does seem like it'll be Klint Kubiak or potentially maybe Brian Daboll as well. But it does seem like Kubiak's in the driver's seat for that job.
All right, Jay, let's hit the break. Anybody that's watching, hit the thumbs up button, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. We'll be right back after the break, baby. Let's go. USC just isn't called wide receiver U. They invented the position at the pro level. Lynn Swann, Super Bowl MVP, 4-time champion with the Steelers. Keyshawn Johnson, Mr. Just Throw Me the Damn Ball himself. One of 3 wide receivers in NFL history to go #1 overall in the NFL draft. In the 2000s, ESPN ranked USC #1 in producing wide receiver talent. They're tied with Miami for the most receivers to ever play in the NFL, 40 and counting. Mike Williams, Dwayne Jarrett, Steve Smith, Robert Woods, Juju Smith-Schuster, Michael Pittman Jr., Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Drake London, just to name a few. But here's the crazy part. In all that history, only one Trojan ever won the Biletnikoff Award. Marquise Lee back in 2012. That is, until now. Mekhi Lemon didn't just win the Biletnikoff this year. He dominated the Power 4 in receiving yards, led the Big Ten in yards after catch. He might be one of the best receivers to ever play at USC, and he may be the best wide receiver in this entire draft class. Let's break down why Mekhi Lemon is about to continue USC's legendary tradition at the next level. Let's go, Jay Rich. It is back. Mekhi Lemon promo dropping after the show. Make sure you check that out. This is what Jay Rich does best. I mean, he's a good host as well, but when he is in his editing bag, he is in his bag. So make sure you check. Kev said, I've been refreshing YouTube daily, waiting for the drop. Yes, the prospect profiles are like, you got me vibing over here with the Gucci Man beat. Jay Rich, I'm feeling good, baby. But yes, that will drop after the show. Check out all of the work Jay Rich does. Has your boy looking real good. That Mekhi Lemon prospect profile will be up later today. If you weren't here at the beginning, make sure you check out the channel. Daniel Jeremiah's round 1 mock draft review. I dropped that on the station. So we got a lot of good stuff coming to y'all real soon today on the channel for free 99. So just show love. Hit the thumbs up button, like it, engage with the video, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel to support this work. Jay Rich is expensive, folks. You gotta subscribe to the channel and watch these videos. Y'all see
the videos?
Yeah, man. You do a good. I mean, we're like Tyler Perry Studios over here, Jay Rich. It's a lot of production costs to get this stuff going. But let's let me ask you a question, man. Because this Monken thing, the Browns, they picked 6th overall in the draft. And did you see? Let me pull this up real quick. We are not at the Senior Bowl for the first time in 4 years, Jay Rich. We have not been there. So
what's funny, right? Is I don't know if it's just me, but I don't know why I have not cared for the Senior Bowl, and I think it's because I'm just not there. Like I feel like I'm usually so tapped in, looking at all the prospects, like I'm very familiar with their games and stuff. And because we didn't end up going, I'm just like, like whoever people say is good, I'll take their word for it. But like I'll either see them in the combine or I won't.
Yeah,
right? And we'll see what ends up happening.
Well, I say that because I've been asking about the quarterbacks, right? How has Garrett Nussmeier looked? How is Diego Pavia? Listen, the report came. He's 5'9", Jay Rich. He's a small
5'9"
guy.
and 7/8 though.
And 7/8. The fact that I'm the same size as Pavia, that ought to let you know probably not what you need as your start. But did you hear him talking out there? He said he's the best player here. He said Pavia said I'm the. He said that.
Well,
he said he's the best player here. And from what I heard, he's the best quarterback in Mobile. That's what I heard, Jay. At Cole Payton from NDSU, no thank you. That Garrett Nussmeier stinking it up, Jay Rich. He's not doing good. Taylen Green overthrowing everything. Like the Browns are picking sixth, and there's no spot for a QB, right? There just isn't. You're not taking Ty Simpson at 6. I don't know if he'll be a first rounder when it's all said and done. He didn't go to the Senior Bowl. Who knows what's going on with Ty Simpson? So you've got Todd Monken in the building, who how much real power does he have? I don't know. It just doesn't.
It's a good question.
I don't know. Is this just Jimmy's boy? I don't know what's going on. Who's playing quarterback for the Browns next year? Like who is starting QB for the Browns next season? Because it feels.
Can I give you a name?
Yeah, give me a name. That's what I want. I want a name.
Do you think that Todd Monken would be selling and pitching Malik Willis because of his quote-unquote success with Lamar Jackson and Tyler Huntley to some extent as well? And say I could do similar things with Malik Willis that I've done with Tyler Huntley, who did look good in stretches, and obviously Lamar Jackson.
Sure. But they've got too much invested in Watson. You just drafted 2 quarterbacks last year. You've got the aura or the presence of Sanders in the building there, and then you're going to go pay Malik Willis $40-50 million. I don't think so. Like I think sure, could he ask to go get Malik Willis? Would Malik Willis want to go to Cleveland? If I'm Willis and there are options to go to Miami, there are options. I'm just throwing teams out there.
Arizona
Miami
could be an option for sure.
Arizona. Why do I want to go to damn Cleveland if I'm Malik Willis? So
very fair.
I don't know. It just, to me, it feels like they're about to be backed into a spot where Shador is he not the front runner to be the guy there, Jay? It's hard for me to believe them going out and paying big money for a quarterback with him and Watson still on the roster.
Well, I think people have to remember, and while I do agree with you that Willis will probably be too expensive for them in terms of guarantees, if a quarterback, who is maybe not as high on the totem pole as I think Willis will be once free agency hits, you could pay a quarterback, mostly up front, for one season on like a 2-year deal to kind of see what he's got, and it wouldn't hit so hard against the cap because you could pay pretty much the entire thing up front, right, with the signing bonus. So I think that's one way they could kind of circumvent the cap and the whole Watson situation. But at the same time, like, Watson's probably going to get restructured again for like the 100th time, right? Because he does every year, so they have cap space. And so I don't know if Watson's going to be a big factor, but I think the other side is like maybe he does want to try and come back and play. I would expect Sanders to be the starter, but like I also wouldn't be shocked if there was a quarterback competition with him and Gabriel, right? Because they're both still there. You might as well see maybe Gabriel can beat him out. Who knows? Right? We don't know who Todd Monken likes, prefers, and we don't know who the Browns want to be their starting quarterback, whether it's a guy in the building or potentially somewhere else. So I am with you, though. I do think Sanders should be the front runner. He probably will be. I think he's better than Gabriel, and I don't expect Watson to come back. But I think it will come down to some extent, is like, who does Monken prefer? Who best fits Monken's system as well? And who can Monken get the most out of? Because that's what he's going to be judged on, right? And I don't know if Sanders isn't his guy, then Sanders isn't his guy. And that's okay. But we'll see. It's hard
Kevin
to know
said
what he wants to do.
keep kicking that Watson can.
Yeah. I think they're going to because they have no choice. Like, what choice do they have?
I'm with you. And if you want to play the game, because we do it, that's what we do. We do this shit where we entertain next year's class is better than this year's class. But I think we can kind of confidently say the prospectus of 2027 looks infinitely better than anything that we know for certain here in 26. I mean, I think that 27, like the outlook of 27 looks better than the outlook at 26, right? Like last year, 26 seemed like it could be a great class, but we knew there was a bit of work that had to be done. I would still say 27 from the quarterback position looks better in terms of how the outlook looks even today than 26 looked at the same time last year. There are 7-8 quarterbacks from 27 I'd draft before Todd Simpson. I would take before Todd Simpson. So this feels like, I don't want to say a punt year for some teams, but I don't think they're not paying the $50 million, $40 million for Malik Willis. They're gonna have Sanders and Watson, and let's see what Todd Monken can do. Let's see what he can do. But you look at some of these teams that need QB, they may just be deferring the decision for next year. When you've got options like an Arch Manning, okay? Mm-hmm. He's going to be in the class. You've got Brennan Sorsby. He's going to be in the class. We'll see what Sellers ends up doing. You've got Sam Levin. Dante Moore came back. Jade Mayava from USC. I mean, the list goes on.
Hoover in Indiana, right? Mensa now in Miami.
I mean, come on,
those guys are going to be up there in the Heisman voting when the season's all done.
Trinidad to be back because he wants no part of the NFL. Trinidad, Gunner. There are just a lot of names. And sure, a handful of them, if not more, will fall by the wayside. But it just seems like some of these teams are going to be stuck with, Atlanta. They're kind of in a similar boat. Penix has destroyed both knees, right? He's had ACL tears on both knees. I think multi tears on one of them.
Yep.
It's him and Kirk Cousins with Kevin Stefanski, right? Like there's nothing that's going to change there. My honest question to you, man, and we have not talked about 9 in a long time. How do Vikings fans feel today? Like, how do you feel if you're Minnesota where, and I get it, they had no choice. You spend what was J.J. McCarthy, the 11th overall pick?
10th pick.
10th overall pick on the quarterback they're playing. I don't give a damn unless it's a Brock Purdy situation where he came in, led the team to a playoff berth, and the team galvanized around him and loved. He was going to play, but you look at Sam Darnold and how good he was for Seattle this year. He's got his team in the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl right now. It feels like a year where if some of these QBs don't get it done, Jay, the coaches don't turn it around. You're asking, look at the questions that people are asking about CJ Stroud today. Mm-hmm. Today. Mm-hmm. It felt like 18, 19 months ago, this was locked and loaded, highest paid quarterback in the NFL incoming. No doubt about it. They asked DeMeco Ryans, and he's like, hey, it's too early to talk about any of that shit. It is too early to discuss this about what we're going to do with quarterback and CJ Stroud.
Well, Ray, it's come to the point where it's a fair question to ask, is he the best quarterback from his draft class? Is CJ Stroud the best quarterback from his draft class where Bryce Young went number 1 overall and he was awful? Yeah. And somehow CJ Stroud has fallen that far down that it's a legitimate conversation. Now, going back to JJ McCarthy, I do think that this 24 class that clearly was loaded lines up perfectly that if you don't have a guy, and JJ McCarthy's played 10 games in the NFL, he's 6-4 as a starter.
Okay.
Right? He closed the season winning 4 straight games for Minnesota. So they were building a little bit, right? He was getting a little bit better. But the inexperience paired with the fact that we don't know if this team is going to be great going into next season. There's all the talks of trading Jordan Addison. So how are you going to replace him?
Oh, really? They're going to get rid of Addison? Too much breaking into amusement parks after dark too much? What is he doing, man? But
Jordan Addison seems like he's a little more trouble than he's worth right now. Minnesota would rather get rid of him than extend him, so it does seem like he could be traded. You know, the Niners have been talked about as a trade candidate for Jordan Addison for some time now. But yeah, if you don't have your quarterback in Michael Penix and you don't have your quarterback in JJ McCarthy, right, teams may look to 27 to get options, because after that third season, Drake May, option picked up. Jaden Daniels, option picked up. Caleb Williams, option picked up. But we're not so sure if that's going to be the same when it comes to J.J. McCarthy and Michael Penix. Michael Penix seems like it's over, personally, but we'll see what happens with him. Do you think it's over? I think at this point for Penix, it's over, because Stefanski's going to come in. Is Michael Penix going to run Stefanski's system better than Kirk Cousins? Probably not.
Probably not.
Right? Kirk Cousins could be cut, but chances are that's not going to happen. They'll probably restructure him, though, to be less of a cap hit overall. And then you have McCarthy, who should be the only guy there, so we'll see what he's got for a season in Minnesota, but he's got to stay healthy. Like, he needs to stay healthy. He was injured too much this season, obviously missed his entire rookie year, but after next year, they're going to have to make decisions on these players, right? And I think we'll definitively know. We'll see if Penix plays, but McCarthy's going to have the whole year to be the guy with a competent head coach that people think is a really good coach, so we'll see. But I think Penix is kind of done in Atlanta.
Can't be done when you were picked 8th overall. He's got, whenever that knee is
was he picked 8th?
He was picked.
Oh, he was picked 8th.
He was
right?
picked top 10. Yes,
Ooh.
he was top 10 pick. Yeah, he went ahead of JJ McCarthy. Here's what Atlanta wants. They probably want a long recovery. Take your time, baby. Take your time.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
No need to rush. Fair. No need to rush. Let Kirk come do it until he stinks it up. They'll put Penix in there. It won't work, and then Kevin Stefanski will be looking for another quarterback going into 2027, Jay. All right, let me hit
that top 10. Very injured.
You're talking about the top 10 from 2024?
Jaden Daniels, injured. Marvin Harrison Jr., injured. Joe Alt, injured. Malik Neighbors, injured for the season. Michael Penix, out for the season. Romo Dunze, foot injuries. JJ McCarthy, foot injuries. Like, wow. That class, man, just great class. But, oh, my God, the injuries are just unreal.
It's a 100% injury guaranteed sport. And I think, again, this is why I think there's something, too, when you just find veterans that know how to be on the field, that can be available, that have been there, that have done it. That's why you see these guys. I mean, Mike McCarthy.
Ken brought up a good point. A lot of injuries for Penix. New GM, new coach, and new president of football ops.
You are probably right in the grand scheme of things. Where I say he's not done is they're going to put him back out there. They're going to.
Probably.
You got to see what you got. Stefanski needs to know, can I work with this? We've got to see what we have. So I do think that he will be back, but ultimately, outside of him taking the Falcons to the NFC South Championship, NFC South Division title, I do think that Stefanski will want his own. I mean, at some point, Stefanski's got to be able to pick his own goddamn quarterback, right? At some point, if he is the offensive guru genius that people say he is, he got dealt Deshaun Watson. He was dealt Shedeur Sanders. He's being dealt Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix. At some point, I just want to see who Stefanski picks. Who would he pick if he got his choose of the litter? Who would his pick be? At some point, we've got to be able to see that. So honestly, you probably are right. And then Jason says C.J. Stroud, more playoff wins than Lamar Jackson. Talking about Houston and their quarterback issue. Jason is putting facts on wax.
You know?
He said more playoff victories than that Lamar Jackson. Mick said Stefanski said he loves Penix. Okay, loves Penix. Loves that do-rag.
I would say that too.
Take that do-rag off. I just want to see it one time. Take the do-rag off. Penix. What else we got, Jay? Let me hit the Schefter feed to see if there's any news that broke while we were here. There are some. You got the Chargers are hiring Western Michigan's defensive coordinator Chris O'Leary as their defensive coordinator. So the Chargers filling out their staff.
He worked under Minter 2 years ago.
Yes, I see that.
So he worked as the DB coach under Minter 2 years ago. So another familiar face in the building, which is good for them.
Yep, I see that. Worked under Minter there. So we've got that going down. Jim Leonhard, the defensive coordinator for the Broncos. I saw something about Jim Leonhard and where he was going. I know a lot of people in Dallas wanted Jim Leonhard to be the defensive coordinator down in Dallas. Yep, Broncos, Davis Webb, being promoted to the is he being promoted to OC if he doesn't get one of those head coaching jobs? Isn't that what you said, Jay?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
A lot of talk about Davis Webb.
A lot of talk about Davis Webb. Yeah, Broncos passing game coordinator, defensive pass game coordinator, Jim Leonard is expected to be leading candidate to become the next defensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. And then this one, we passed over it, but we talked about it on Tuesday. Asked at his introductory press conference if he would like Aaron Rodgers to return to Pittsburgh, Steelers' new head coach Mike McCarthy answered, definitely. I don't see why you wouldn't. So Aaron Rodgers still on the short list of quarterback candidates for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's what we need to do. The next show, we're going to do will be Super Bowl week, but we're going to have some fun because there's still a lot of uncertainty. I don't know who's playing quarterback in Arizona. You got Pittsburgh, the Jets, the Dolphins. I mean, you just go down the line, the line of these teams, Jay. There's so many just interesting spots that are vacant right now.
Yeah.
And maybe this is par for the course, but it sure as hell seems like this has been a year where there's a lot of that. A lot of openings. You know, I was listening to, I think it was Greg Olson talk about why would somebody not want, or talking about the issues that Philly's having finding an OC and how difficult that job is, because you go there, you win 9-10 games and you're fired, right? You can win 9 or 10 games as the offensive coordinator in Philadelphia, and if the offense doesn't look a certain way, your ass is gone. You know, it makes it feel like Nick Sirianni's got some heat on him coming into this season, Jay. But
did you see the rumor in Philly?
No, I did not.
So Adam Schefter goes on a local Philly radio show. And they were asking him about the OC, about how no one wants the job. You know, I brought up how they interviewed the Packers QB coach, so he could be an option for OC in Philly. You know, obviously I'm a fan of LaFleur, so I think that could potentially be a good hire. But Schefter, before he left that show, he said there could be other news coming out of Philly.
Okay.
That's unrelated to the OC. So then they're asking, could it be A.J. Brown? Could it be this? Could it be that? And the rumor that I saw after this came out and people started talking about it, there's a thought potentially that what he was hinting at is Vic Fangio might retire. So the current defensive coordinator, who is the architect of how great this Eagles defense is, basically the only reason they win football games half the time, because their defense is great and their offense has struggled so much, may potentially retire anytime in like the coming days, and may potentially retire this offseason, leaving the Eagles with no OC and no DC, obviously in a cycle where a lot of candidates have been scooped up already, and that would be a big problem. Now, again, I don't know if it's true. It's a rumor right now, but Schefter hinted at other news for the Eagles maybe on the way. But yeah, that rumor potentially could be Vic Fangio retiring, not A.J. Brown getting traded.
It's going to be an interesting week. And as soon as we end the show, there will be more news that breaks. No kind of rumors about anybody for this Arizona job. So still nothing. It's like $0.
Mum's the word, man.
Nothing at all for the Arizona job. All right, Jay. Hit the music, baby. That's the show. Hit the music. That's the show. That's the show. Thursday, when we come back, it'll be February. Already through the first month of 2026. Next week is Super Bowl prep week, so it's going to be all Patriots, all Seahawks. Right. We'll have some fun next week. Jay Rich pumping up his squad, even though he didn't back his head coach as much as I thought he would this morning. It's all good. We appreciate y'all being in the building. Hit the thumbs up button, like the stream. Let's talk to the people before we get out of here. Let's wish the people a good week. Tim, heard Kubiak is the favorite. Kubiak the favorite for where?
Imagine he's talking about Arizona.
Arizona, okay, all right.
Maybe.
Anthony, Cowboys already hired their in-house replacement. We got Kevin, Eagles got no C's. Yeah, they got no C's in Philadelphia. Adam, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Mick, Jason, Cav, Jay Buck in the building. Eckel on 93. Jeff Math, 9. Gabe in the building. Kev in the building. We appreciate everybody pulling up, tapping into all the content that we do. Much love. Enjoy your weekend. Check out the Makai Lemon Prospect Profile video.
Yes, sir.
Go to DDFFB. Shane and Scott did a 3-hour Dynasty Startup Draft. $125 buy-in. Insane rules. They had the crowd rocking in there last night. So go to DDFFB, check out the Mannequin Chill show. Scott dropped the rookie mock over there. But we shall see y'all win. Jay Rich on Tuesday?
Tuesday, baby. Let's do it.
All right, we out. Peace.
Peace.